The following program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision. It's time now for the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Here's your host for the program, Joseph J. Zoppi.
Hello. Welcome to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, a real estate investor, consumer advocate, author, and managing partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You can reach us at templarcashforhouses.com. That's T-E-M, like Mary, P-L-A-R, cashforhouses.com. That's one word. Or you could call us at 973-240-8593. Again, that's 973-240-8593, and we can answer any questions you may have, or you could email us from our website on any questions or any topics you want to discuss for this radio show. For first-time listeners, my company is a real estate investment firm. We buy houses for cash. We purchase apartment buildings. We do joint ventures with other real estate investors. We loan money for rehabs and provide transactional and gap funding. We work with individuals that want to invest with us in single-family houses up to apartment buildings. We do not speculate. We're very protective of our money and our investors' money. I'm not a brokerage and I'm not a real estate agent, but I have individuals on staff that are agents that could sell your house through the traditional multiple listing service. The show will go over everything there is about real estate and those things that impact real estate. We'll talk about our rehabs, some of our investments, what went well, what did not go well, and especially how we learned from it. We'll talk about the economy and interest rates. We'll discuss trends in the real estate market. Real estate is one of your biggest investments, so it's important that you know as much as possible about it. I will provide you with my opinion, and it's only my opinion. I ask everyone to do research on everything that I talk about or anybody else brings up. Make sure you do lots of research. Make sure also you get opinions from other individuals, especially if someone recommends someone. I always say every week, ask lots of questions, because what might be fine with one person might not be fine with someone else. And that I can't stop preaching on, and that's very, very important. To one of my favorite listeners, Paulette and Tim from Cedar Grove, thank you very much. And also Cindy and John as well. I'd also like to thank some of my private investors that have invested in a couple of new deals we have, and that's Jenny and Sam. So Jenny and Sam, thank you very much. Again, with private investors, these are normal individuals that want to invest money in some of my deals, and it's everyone from firemen to police officers, state workers, teachers, so on and so forth. If you're ever interested, please give me a call. We could sit down, we could talk, we could do a Zoom call, whatever the case may be. Again, if you're interested in selling your house fast for cash, please give us a call. If you need to sell your house through the traditional multiple listing service, I got some great agents, so they'd be more than happy to help you and support you through the entire process. One of the biggest things I always talk about is the ability to negotiate and understanding the transaction, not just we're going to list the house and show the house and market the house. That's very, very important. But then the other part is when you get multiple offers, who should you take, who shouldn't you take? Maybe one offer is better than the other from a monetary perspective, but it's not the best offer. So those are all factors that we look at. Then comes everything from when they do inspections and they're complaining about a doorbell doesn't ring or whatever the case may be, and all of a sudden, you have to negotiate those things. So we work very hard with the seller on that. We look at it very closely. We have a team of individuals that could jump in, fix something if it needs to be. So it's an all-around solution that we provide. It's just not, we're going to list the house and that's it. So I advise you, I think we're one of the best around, especially what we bring to the table. Our foundation is really through real estate investments. And with real estate investments, there's a lot of negotiation. There's a lot of things that come up, and we do that all day long. So for us to sell a house and assist you with that is really right up our alley, and we're just not going to list it. Like I said, there's a lot more to it, and we have a great team of individuals, from attorneys to anyone that needs to repair it really quickly and at a reasonable price, which is kind of difficult these days. I'll tell you that much, because the prices have gone up so much with material costs as well as labor costs. It's just really through the roof. A couple other things. I'm still looking for some underwriters for our bigger deals that we're going to do and we're in the process of doing. And those individuals have to have a strong financial background, preferably a former CPA, possibly. It doesn't have to be a current CPA. It could be individuals that's very good at crunching numbers, knows Excel spreadsheets really well, those types of things, and very logical and hardworking. So we're looking for individuals to help underwrite these deals, and it's mostly for apartment buildings, 100 plus units throughout the country. And it's, I think, really exciting what we're doing right now. The other thing is I'm looking for apartment buildings. I'm looking for single family homes. If you have anything, please give us a yell. We also provide finder's fees, and everything's very discreet, so I'm not going to be saying it. If you don't want me to use your name, that's fine. And just give me a call on that. So last week, I missed last week in terms of doing a radio show. It was kind of difficult because the radio station was closed on Friday, and I usually do my recording on Fridays, and then that was going to push it up, and that was Holy Thursday, and I was really busy between the job, just everything going on in the business, and then going to church and everything. So I just couldn't squeeze it in, and unfortunately I couldn't. I was looking forward to it. I look forward every week to do a broadcast and share content and hopefully help people out in terms of that, as well as saving money and some just good tips. The other thing is that I was looking back, and Easter, I had gone to church in the morning, and then I picked up breakfast for my kids, and we had breakfast, and after that, I didn't do anything on Easter except some dinner, and it was the first time since I think Christmas that I didn't work a day. So it was like really just it was just really relaxing, and I really didn't think about anything to do with the business or anything like that, and it was just really, really good, and I didn't realize how much I really needed that day off, because usually I'm going literally 7 days a week. I'm working at every day. Maybe sometimes on Sundays I'll work half a day, but I still am working probably a good half day at least, even on a Sunday, which I really shouldn't be. And but it was really just great to take off. I was talking to a prospective client last night. She had filled out a form from my website. It was like 9:30. I was just finishing dinner, And I called her up. It was about 9:30, quarter to 10, and she says, "Oh, I'm glad you called. I didn't realize you're still working." I said, "Yeah, I'm still working. It doesn't matter when it is." So I'm going to be looking at her home Sunday. And, she said basically she needs to sell fast. And, I said we could also list it. And she says, no, it's just going to be, in terms of the financial situation, it's really not worth it. And there's, I guess, some pending bills due. So we're going to see what we could do with her. She said the house needs a lot of work. And we'll see where we go with that. But, yeah, it doesn't matter if it needs a lot of work or it doesn't need a lot of work. If we come to an agreement, that's great. Or we could always sell on the multiple listing service. I had another individual. She filled out a form. I called her up this week, and I said, if you don't mind, why are you interested in selling? And she says, I hate my neighbors. She says, I don't know if there's a word that's stronger, but I just hate them. I was like, okay, don't worry about that, and we could handle it. And I said, I get a lot of calls more often than not on family members that live in houses that they've rented out and then they're not paying and they just want the family member out. And I told her that, and she says, yeah, I know about that also. So I know she went through a lot. And we went there yesterday. I didn't. My partner, she went and went over everything. And we looked at the house on Google Maps, and it was set back pretty far compared to all the other houses. The other houses were fairly close to the street, but this one was set back really far. And I'm looking at that, and then I look, and there's a shed in the front yard, and I'm like scratching my head on that. And then I get an aerial view from Google Maps, and that's what's so great about, the internet and Google. You could do a lot of things ahead of time. And I looked at the property lines because you could see that also through Google Maps, and it looked like it was right against the back of the property line. So there was really literally no backyard. And so I said, okay, that makes sense. But again, that impacts the marketability of the house, that, you can't even go in the backyard, and your backyard is really the front yard, and then there's no privacy. So, my partner, she was there, and before I go any further, I need to take a break, and then I could continue with this very shortly. But I want to bring up two other things before the break. So 2 weeks ago, I brought up a couple of restaurants, a restaurant and a deli, and I'm going to use their names again. And one is Mara's Italian Deli, 263 Changebridge Road in Pine Brook. And her phone number is 973-808-7480, and her name's Teresa. So use my name, and you get 10% off all the lunch and catering orders. And she got a lot of responses to that, so I'm going to continue that at least till the end of the month of April. So that's in effect till the end of April. And the other one is Basilico. It's one of my favorite restaurants. Gentleman, the owner is Mario. Speak to Mario, tell him I recommended you. And he's located on 324 Milburn Avenue in Milburn. And his phone number is 973-379-7020. Again, I want to bring up some people that I do a lot of business with in terms of going to their facilities, and they have great food, great people, and I want them to succeed. So I want to make sure of that. So I'm going to close out this segment, but again, if you need to reach us, call us at 973-240-8593 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. I'll see you in a couple. Thanks.
Life can be a roller coaster, and sometimes you need to sell your house fast. That's why there's TemplarBuysHouses.com. Maybe you're downsizing, getting a divorce, having health or financial issues. If so, head to TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com will buy your house quickly and without hassle. If you've inherited a house that is vacant, contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. Dealing with them is easy and quick. No high-pressure sales tactics, and you won't have to fix up the house. They will buy your house as is. You pick the closing date and when you move out. No commissions and no hassles. You are given a price, and that is the price you get. Plus, they don't need to qualify for loans because they buy with cash. Contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com with an A rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call 973-315-7990. That's 973-315-7990.
Hello, welcome back to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, Managing Partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You could reach us at 973-240-8593. Again, that's 973-240-8593, or TemplarCashForHouses.com. That's TEMPLAR cashforhouses.com. And if you want to sell your house fast, or you want to sell it through the traditional multiple listing service, please give us a call. So as I said before, this woman contacted us, and my partner went out to her house and walked the property, and like I said, the house was really set back, and it was right against the property line. Usually it's not that close to the property line, but it was really, really close. And, the house needs work, and she said it was in fair condition. It was probably in fair condition. She was really accurate with that. And, we asked her basically what she wanted for the house, and it was a very fair and reasonable offer. And we said, yeah, we could go forward with that. And we went through the contract with her. And one of the things in the contract states that, you have 3 days to get out of it. And if it has to be more, it has to be more. But it just, in there, it says 3 days. And she said, there is no way I'm getting out of this transaction. I hate those neighbors. They're nosy. I'm a very private person. They always want to know everything going on. So it was kind of funny. But, there's a number of things we have to do to the house. And we need some good paint and redo the cabinets, and some of the bathrooms could be partially salvaged, I think, some of the tile work, but we're going to have to replace vanities and a number of things like that, as well as there's work that needs to be done in the basement. One of the things we'll probably do is she has some new or fairly new appliances. So a lot of times we swap out the appliances, but they're in pretty good shape, but they're kind of soiled and everything. So one of the things we do, and this is a little trick that I've picked up over the years, is like on a gas stove, the grates for the gas stove and the burners and everything. Well, you take them, usually you soak them. But one of the easiest ways to clean them is you put them in a big plastic bag, like one of those trash bags, and you put some ammonia in it, and you just put a few splashes, three or four, and it really doesn't have to cover it. And then you seal it up, and you just do that for overnight, and then you open it up, and you have to watch the fumes because it's very strong from the ammonia. But make sure when you seal it really well. And what happens is those fumes eat away at all the grease and everything, and basically you could just almost wipe it off, and they come really, really clean. So that's a little trick. Now, also around the grates and everything, which I haven't done before, but we'll probably do it with this, is just pour a little ammonia and then cover them with cookie trays, invert them, and then maybe some masking tape around it, and let the fumes again clean all around it and then just wipe it away. But it's an easy trick. It works really, really well. It probably works with a bunch of other things too that are dirty. I wouldn't do it maybe on Teflon pans or anything like that. You really don't need to, but maybe regular pans you could even do it. And it just, the fumes just eat away at it, and it's really pretty cool. And the other thing we had, there's like a fence also in the front yard. And it's a split rail fence. So split rail fence is basically one of those fences where you have the 2 posts and then you have the 3 pieces of logs or wood that go across. And you see that sometimes on farms and things like that. And, it's pretty old and traditional. So one of the challenges with that is, we always like to make the lawn really nice, and the fence kind of distracts from it. And it just doesn't look good, especially because the front lawn is so big. And the fence is okay, but we want to remove that. And one of the ways that we remove that is, it's pretty cool too, is that we get a couple 2x4s, maybe like 18 inches, maybe about 18 inches. So get 2 of those. And we drill holes. We put them together and drill some holes through it. And the holes are usually about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch wide. And we hammer them together. And then what we do is we take that piece of 2x4 and put it against the post, and then drill the hole with a long bit that goes through the 2 pieces of 2x4, which already have a hole in it, and then through the post and all the way through the post. And then we get 3 long screws basically with nuts and push them through. So then you have a post with 2 2x4s connected to it through these 3 screws. And then we get a jack, and it's one of those jacks, you get it at a couple different places. You get a Home Depot, or there's another place that I forget off the top of my head, and it's they call it a truck jack, or in the old days we'll say there used to be a bumper jack that you used to put on your bumper and then ratchet it up. Well, it's basically the same type of jack, and you put it underneath the pieces of wood and you keep jacking it up, and it pulls out the whole post with the concrete and everything. So it's really, really pretty cool. And it's basically one person could do all the different posts very easily. And it takes probably about 10 minutes per post, maybe a little bit longer. And you really don't have to be that strong. The jack is really doing the work. And you could also see that example, I think, on YouTube. I saw it once a long time ago. So those are 2 good tricks. One to clean a stove and a few other things, and the other one is to remove posts from wood posts from a yard and lift them out without killing yourself. So the last thing I want to talk about, and I only have a few minutes, is about a gentleman. His name was Bill Wang. And I've talked about before about margin with stocks. I've said that you really got to watch it. And I would strongly, say to you not to use margin when you're buying stock, because what you're doing is basically they're loaning you money, and you're purchasing more stock, than you could really pay for in cash. So when things go up, it's great. When things go down, it's really bad. You could really multiply the losses considerably. It's just crazy. Well, this gentleman, Bill Wang, from what I understand, and I'm going to talk probably next week a lot more about leverage in the stock market versus leverage in real estate. But with Bill, I think he had started out with $50 million, and he grew it into, like, it was approximately, they're not quite sure, anywhere between $5 billion and $20 billion. And he used leverage with a product called swaps. And I'm not going to get into what a swap is right now, but it's kind of what you think it is. You know, you're really basically swapping and trading a bank's position or a underwriter's position on stocks, and you're going to get a certain amount of money as a result of it, and you have to pay a fee. But I'll get into it and make it a little clearer next week. But this individual purchased these swaps, and he leveraged them, and he definitely leveraged them more than he should have. And I don't know if his hedges, so sometimes what you do is, if you are going to go in a certain direction with certain stocks or options, you do certain things to, you know, have like a safety net in case things go the wrong way, so you don't lose as much money. Well, it doesn't look like he did a really good job with that, and within 2 days he lost whatever it was, $5 billion or $20 billion, and so he's in bad shape. And the different institutions that were holding that position took really big hits also. And these are big players like Goldman Sachs. I think there's Nomura, which is a Japanese investment firm, and a number of other ones, and they took major hits because of this. So it doesn't matter if you're a little guy trading on margin or a big guy. Margins, if they go the wrong way on you, are wicked, and they're not forgiving at all. And that's why I preach always against that. Again, I had the scars to feel that, so you have to, it's not just out of reading about it, but it's occurred to me as well. So it really impacted me. So please, no margin. Okay, so I got to close everything out again. Before we do that, go see Teresa at Mara's Italian Deli in Pine Brook. Again, she'll give you 10% off on any lunch orders as well as catering orders through the month of April. Again, make sure you just say that I called or I spoke to you about this. And the other one is Basilico, which is in Millburn. Great Italian restaurant. And speak to Mario on that. So thank you very much. Again, you could call us at 973-240-8593 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. Thank you very much. God bless. Have a nice weekend. Take care. Bye.
The preceding program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision.